The Outback's cockpit alarm pierced the silence, rousing Jack Lawson from his uneasy sleep. He blinked away the grogginess, his eyes darting to the flashing red light on the control panel. A distress signal, one he hadn't seen in years. As he punched in the identification code, his heart skipped a beat. It was from his sister's lost reconnaissance mission. "Sammy?" Jack whispered, his voice a blend of hope and fear. He had never stopped searching for her, and now, after all these years, this signal reignited his determination. Jack ran a hand through his unruly hair and activated the ship's AI, a sleek interface named Artemis. "Artemis, plot a course for a SLEAL." "Warning, Jack." Artemis's calm, synthesized voice responded. "Approaching a SLEAL is highly dangerous. The alien queen race is known for their lethal defenses." "Just do it, Artemis," Jack snapped, his jaw set in determination. He couldn't let fear deter him now. As the Outback entered hyperspace, Jack reviewed Sammy's last transmission. Her voice, steady yet laced with urgency, filled the cockpit. "Jack, if you ever find this, I've discovered something on a SLEAL. It's not what we thought. It's beautiful and terrifying. Please, be careful." Jack's grip tightened on the console. He had to know what happened to her. The Federation had written her off, but he refused to accept it. The ship shuddered violently as it descended into a SLEAL's atmosphere. Automated defense systems engaged, and Jack's hands flew over the controls, dodging laser fire and navigating treacherous winds. The ground approached rapidly, and with a final jolt, the Outback crash-landed near one of the hive structures. Jack unbuckled his harness and grabbed his gear, his heart pounding. The entrance to the hive loomed ahead, an ominous opening in the alien landscape. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, his senses on high alert. Inside, the hive was a labyrinth of bioluminescent tunnels, casting an eerie glow on the organic walls. The air was thick with a faintly sweet scent, mingling with the metallic tang of Jack's sweat. As he ventured deeper, the sensation of being watched grew stronger. Multifaceted eyes reflected the dim light, drones silently observing his every move. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. A young drone, smaller than the others, with a curious gleam in its eyes. It approached Jack cautiously, its movements tentative yet non-threatening. "Human?" The drone's voice was a mix of clicks and hisses, struggling with the unfamiliar language. "Yeah," Jack replied, lowering his weapon slightly. "I'm looking for my sister. She came here years ago. Have you seen her?" The drone tilted its head, as if processing his words. "Follow," it said, turning down a dimly lit corridor. As they walked, Jack's mind raced with possibilities. Could this drone lead him to Sammy? What had she discovered that was so important? The corridor opened into a vast chamber, filled with intricate carvings and ancient technology. Jack's breath caught in his throat. This was no ordinary hive. It was a sanctuary of knowledge and power. "Wait here," the drone instructed before disappearing into the shadows. Jack scanned the chamber, his eyes widening at the sight of a holographic map depicting the entire hive. He stepped closer, trying to memorize the layout. Every detail could be crucial. Moments later, the drone returned with another figure, a towering, regal presence that exuded authority. Queen Arathia, her multifaceted eyes shimmering with intelligence, studied Jack intently. "Why have you come?" she asked, her voice resonating through the chamber. "I'm here for my sister," Jack replied, his voice steady despite the Queen's imposing presence. "And to understand what she found." Queen Arathia's gaze softened slightly, a hint of recognition in her eyes. "Your sister chose to stay, to protect what lies here." Jack's heart sank and soared simultaneously. Sammy was alive, but what had she chosen over returning home? "You must decide," Arathia continued. "Will you leave with your questions answered, or stay and join us in protecting the balance of the galaxy?" Jack's mind whirled with the weight of her words. This decision could change everything. The silence in the hive was suffocating, broken only by the distant hum of alien machinery. Jack's mind raced with the weight of Queen Arathia's ultimatum. His sister was alive, yet enmeshed in something far greater than he had imagined. The drone, Zephyr, stood by his side, its multifaceted eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and concern. "Why did she stay?" Jack finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "What's so important here?" Zephyr motioned for Jack to follow, leading him through another series of bioluminescent tunnels. The walls seemed to pulse with life, casting an ethereal glow that heightened the surreal atmosphere. "Sammy found ancient power," Zephyr explained in its halting English. "Queens protect it. Dangerous if misused." As they walked, Jack noticed more drones, their eyes following him silently. The air grew cooler, carrying a faint, metallic scent that made his skin prickle. They entered a chamber filled with intricate carvings and alien technology that seemed to merge seamlessly with the organic structure of the hive. Jack stopped, staring at a central pillar adorned with symbols and pulsating with energy. "This is what she's protecting?" Zephyr nodded. "Energy source. Can change balance of galaxy. Federation wants it." Jack's heart sank. He had suspected, but hearing it confirmed was another matter entirely. The Federation's quest for power had already cost him his sister. Now, it threatened the fragile balance of the entire galaxy. "We have to stop them," Jack said, a steely resolve in his voice. "But how?" Before Zephyr could answer, the chamber's entrance darkened as more drones filed in, led by Queen Arathia. Her presence was commanding, her eyes reflecting both wisdom and sorrow. "Your sister chose to protect this power with her life," Arathia said, her voice resonating through the chamber. "She saw the danger of it falling into the wrong hands. Will you honor her choice?" Jack met her gaze, feeling the weight of his decision. "I will, but I need to understand. How do we protect it?" Arathia gestured to the pillar. "By ensuring it remains hidden. Your sister integrated with our consciousness to guide us. She knew human strategies, their weaknesses." Jack's breath caught. Sammy's voice, her knowledge, was now part of the hive. It was a bittersweet revelation. He was proud of her, yet mourned the life she had sacrificed. Suddenly, the hive shook violently, dust and debris falling from the ceiling. The distant sound of explosions reached their ears. Jack's eyes widened in alarm. "They're here," he said, his voice filled with urgency. "The Federation found us." Arathia's expression hardened. "Then we fight. For the balance. For your sister's legacy." Jack turned to Zephyr. "We need to mobilize. Use everything Sammy taught you. Let's show them what a united front looks like." Zephyr's eyes gleamed with determination. "Yes, human. Together we protect." As they prepared for the impending battle, Jack's mind raced with strategies, drawing from his years of experience and the new insights he had gained. The hive's hum intensified, a collective preparation for the fight ahead. The finality of the moment hit Jack. This was more than a rescue mission, it was a battle for the future. He steeled himself, ready to face whatever came next, driven by the memory of his sister and the promise he made to protect her legacy. The hive trembled once more, and Jack knew there was no turning back. The hive reverberated with the thunder of approaching enemy ships. Jack Lawson's heart pounded as he and Zephyr, the young drone, sprinted through the labyrinthine tunnels toward the command center. The flickering bioluminescent lights cast eerie shadows, heightening the sense of urgency. "We need to coordinate our defenses," Jack said, breathless but determined. "If the Federation gets their hands on that power source, it's all over." Zephyr nodded, his alien features reflecting Jack's determination. "Queens will lead. We follow." They burst into the command chamber where Queen Arathia stood, her regal presence commanding the room. Around her, various drones and alien tech interfaces displayed the hive's internal and external status. "Federation forces are breaching our outer defenses," Arathia announced, her voice resonating with both authority and an undercurrent of concern. "We must hold them off long enough to protect the power source." Jack stepped forward. "I have a plan. We use hit-and-run tactics to confuse and delay them. Zephyr and I can lead a strike team to disrupt their advance. Meanwhile, you fortify the inner sanctum. Arathia's multifaceted eyes scrutinized Jack, weighing his words. Very well. Your sister's knowledge lives within us. We trust your judgment. Jack felt a pang of pride and sorrow at the mention of Sammy. He turned to Zephyr. Gather a team. We move out now. The hive's hum intensified as drones and warriors prepared for battle. Jack and Zephyr led a small, agile squad through the hive's hidden passages, emerging onto the surface where the night sky was streaked with the lights of descending Federation dropships. Remember, Jack said, his voice steady. We hit them hard, then fall back. Keep them guessing. The squad nodded, their resolve unshakable. As the first wave of Federation soldiers landed, Jack's team struck with precision. Explosions lit up the barren landscape, disorienting the attackers. The drones moved with coordinated efficiency, their natural camouflage and intimate knowledge of the terrain giving them a significant advantage. Amidst the chaos, Jack felt a surge of adrenaline. This was a fight not just for survival but for the future. Each skirmish was a testament to their resilience, but the Federation forces were relentless, driven by the promise of untold power. As the battle raged, Jack's mind raced, strategizing their next move. Suddenly, a powerful explosion rocked the ground beneath them, sending debris flying. Jack was thrown to the ground, ears ringing, vision blurred. Jack! Zephyr's voice cut through the haze, helping him to his feet. We must retreat. Reinforcements coming. Staggering, Jack nodded. Fall back to the inner sanctum. Regroup there. They retreated into the hive, the tunnels providing a temporary respite. Jack's heart sank as he realized the Federation was closer than ever to breaching the hive's core. He had to think fast. Reaching the inner sanctum, Jack found Queen Arathia already orchestrating the defenses. Her eyes met his, a silent acknowledgement of the gravity of the situation. We're running out of time, Jack said, urgency lacing his words. We need to draw them into a trap, something decisive. Arathia nodded. The power source itself. We can use its energy to create a defensive barrier, but it will take everything we have. Jack understood the risk. Do it. We'll buy you the time you need. As Arathia and the other queens began the process, Jack and Zephyr prepared for one final stand. The air was thick with tension, the hum of the hive a constant reminder of what was at stake. Ready? Jack asked, meeting Zephyr's determined gaze. Ready, human. Together, we fight. The next wave of Federation soldiers breached the tunnel entrance, and Jack knew this was it, the moment that would determine the fate of everything he held dear. The air in the inner sanctum was electric with tension as Jack and Zephyr braced for the final assault. Federation soldiers surged through the hive's tunnels, their heavy boots pounding like a war drum. Jack's heart raced, each beat echoing his resolve. Hold the line, Jack commanded, his voice cutting through the cacophony. He exchanged a glance with Zephyr, their unspoken bond stronger than ever. They had become a team united by purpose. Queen Arathia and her drones were focused on channeling the hive's energy into a powerful defensive barrier. The bioluminescent walls pulsed in rhythm with their efforts, casting an otherworldly glow. Jack marveled at the raw power contained within these ancient structures, feeling a mix of awe and responsibility. Federation soldiers advancing fast, Zephyr reported, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Jack nodded, tightening his grip on his weapon. We make our stand here. They can't reach the power source. The first wave of soldiers appeared, their armor glinting in the dim light. Jack's team fired with precision, their coordinated strikes creating a defensive wall of fire. The hive trembled with the intensity of the battle, the sound of gunfire and explosions filling the air. Fall back, Jack ordered as the soldiers pressed forward, relentless in their assault. He and Zephyr led a strategic retreat, drawing the Federation deeper into the hive's labyrinth. Suddenly, a deafening explosion rocked the tunnel, sending debris flying. Jack shielded his face, coughing as dust filled the air. When the smoke cleared, he saw Federation soldiers breaching their defenses, their numbers overwhelming. Zephyr, we need to activate the barrier now, Jack shouted, urgency gripping him. Zephyr's eyes flashed with determination. I will hold them. Go, Jack. Protect the queens. Jack hesitated, the weight of Zephyr's words sinking in. No, we do this together. Zephyr placed a hand on Jack's shoulder, their bond transcending words. You must survive. Lead them. With a final nod, Jack sprinted towards the inner sanctum, leaving Zephyr and a handful of drones to face the advancing soldiers. His heart ached with each step, knowing the sacrifice being made. Reaching the core chamber, Jack found Queen Arathia surrounded by a radiant glow. The energy was almost palpable, vibrating with a life of its own. Arathia looked up, her eyes reflecting both power and sorrow. Is it ready? Jack asked, breathless. Yes, Arathia replied. But the cost is great. Jack clenched his fists. We have no choice. Activate it. Arathia raised her hands, and the chamber filled with a blinding light. Jack shielded his eyes as the energy surged through the hive, creating an impenetrable barrier. The sound of battle faded, replaced by an eerie silence. When the light dimmed, Jack saw the barrier shimmering, a testament to the hive's resilience. He turned to Arathia, his heart heavy. Zephyr? He asked, though he feared the answer. Arathia bowed her head. He fought bravely. His sacrifice will be remembered. Jack felt a lump in his throat, grief mixing with pride. We did it, he said softly. We protected the power source. Arathia placed a hand on his shoulder. Your sister would be proud. You have honored her legacy. Jack nodded, tears brimming in his eyes. We move forward, together. As the hive settled into a calm stillness, Jack knew this was just the beginning. The alliance forged in battle would reshape their future, a testament to the power of unity and sacrifice. The galaxy might never know the full story, but Jack carried it with him, a beacon of hope and resilience. And with each step, he honored those who fought beside him, human and alien alike, in their shared quest to protect a fragile peace.